Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. Also, a really great living example of why you put sunscreen on before you get on the internet. Anyway, feel free to make fun in the comments. I've earned this, and it's actually not that bad. I just am this white. Anyway, whatever, no big deal. But what we're going to talk about today is the media's compulsion to couch everything that happens in this country under something that it's not. For example, there's bunches and bunches of different examples of crime, but they're couching it all under mass shootings. For example, what I'm about to show you is from USA Today. Everything is linked in the description box below, and I'm doing this to highlight the manipulation because while these events are horrible and should never happen, they are trying to manipulate the population into giving up their gun rights by mislabeling things. This is incredibly important, and let me know what you guys think down there in the comments while you're making fun of my sunscreen situation. Now, if you are new or you're a returning viewer, please consider hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel, and making sure that notification bell is on. We need as many of you as possible to get in the fold with us so we can pass the blessing of the Second Amendment along to the next generation by countering just this manipulative narrative, because that's what this is. Now, the content is brought to you by LAS Concealment. If you guys are looking for a holster for your favorite freedom tool, LAS Concealment has something you might want to check out. Their holsters are made out of Kydex. They are form-fitted to every single model of Pew Pew. They are tested by the world's most premier special forces units, and they have inside and outside the waistband options, multiple patterns, multiple colors, something for everyone. And there's a link in the description box below. And thank you so much to LAS Concealment for making this content possible. But we've got to dive into this because, again, the USA Today and the media is all about driving a narrative. Now, before I dive into this, I want to be perfectly clear. We do have a problem in this country. We have a problem with violence in this country. We have a problem with people not valuing life in this country. We don't have a problem with an inanimate object that is protected by our Second Amendment rights. We have a problem with people, with the minds and hearts of the people, not with what is in their hands. What I'm about to show you should never happen. None of these things should happen. These are terrible things, and I am completely against any type of action like this. Now that I've said that, let's continue because this is important what the media is trying to do to you. 3 days, 10 mass shootings, more than 50 victims, USC's worst weekend of 2023. Now, they're about to walk through all the different mass shootings that they're going to say. They've got 82 listed. Do you remember 82 mass shootings? Let's continue because, again, this is all coming from Gun Violence Archive, a manipulated source from the left, and I hit this so hard because you guys need to know what they're doing to you via manipulation. Let's get it. 9 children were shot at a Georgia gas station. 6 people were killed in a Mississippi town. 11 people were shot in Memphis. 5 people were injured near a parade in New Orleans. 6 people were shot on Chicago expressways. That's just half of the reported mass shooting violence over the weekend. Notice how they left out the El Paso situation where the individual actually defended the entire mall with his concealed carry because he actually had a firearm to defend people. Notice how they left that one out. But anyway, let's keep going because this is really crucial. And there's the day the Gun Violence Archive cited for a reliable source. Of course, we know it's a big joke, but anyway, let's keep going. Mass shootings in 2023 outpaced 2022. There have been 82 mass shootings this year compared to 59 the same time last year. Interesting. Do you guys remember, and let me know in the comments field, if you remember 82 mass shootings? You can do it right after you make fun of the way my face looks. But do you remember that? Because I certainly don't. And according to the Gun Violence Archive, these examples of what the article cited, I'm going to read to you because I clicked them. Check this out. Tell me these are mass shootings. This is in Louisiana. Quote, "We want to give the thoughts and prayers to the victims and their families. This is an isolated incident. Someone decided a resolution was going to be ended by gunfire, so a resolution to conflict started shooting people in a public space. Multiple people were injured. That's a devaluation of life. That's not a mass shooting." Let's keep going. At the scene, Woodford said police recovered 2 guns and arrested 1 person on the charge of illegally carrying a weapon. Funny how the USA Today didn't cite those 2 details. 2 different guns, 1 person arrested. It's a conflict and it's been resolved with gunfire. That is individual peer-to-peer crime with casualties around. That is not a mass shooting. Let's keep going. And the reason I'm hitting this, I'm going to make it clear in a second. Here's Memphis, one of the things they cited. Memphis Police Department said via a Twitter update that it is looking for 3 unidentified persons of interest that investigators would like to speak to about the shooting. The violence started in the 1400 block of East Shelby Drive in Whitehaven just before 1 a.m. Police arrived to the Live Lounge and found 2 victims with gunshot wounds. According to Memphis police, 5 other victims are believed to have left Live Lounge in their cars and were taken to hospitals. So 3 individuals. That is violence. That is interrelational violence. That is not a mass shooting. Again, keep in mind, do you remember 82? Well, if you look at things like this, of course you're going to get to 82, because anytime anything happens without criteria, drug violence, gang violence, drive-bys, anything, the mass shootings pile up pretty quick when you manipulate them. Anyway, let me get to the next one, because this one is actually considered a mass shooting, because this one in Mississippi where the guy snapped. Gunman kills 6, including ex-wife, in shooting spree in rural Mississippi town, officials say. That is genuinely a mass shooting, because a guy snapped, took out interpersonal relationships, and anybody else that was caught in the way. All of these situations are horrible. But so far, we're at 1 mass shooting. We're not at 3. Let's keep going, because this is what they do. This is in Georgia. Now, this is where a bunch of kids were in a bus at a gas station, being completely innocent and should not be brought into this. Well, look what happened. The chief of police said that there had been an altercation on a party nearby, and it spilled over to the gas station when the shooting began. So a bunch of innocent kids were on a bus at a gas station just doing kid things, and some morons at a party decided to start fighting. They rolled over to a gas station, they started shooting at each other, and they hit the kids. This does not get more evil. That's not even the right word. The complete negating of importance of life is what the problem here is. Some morons were shooting at each other and they hit some kids. This is not a mass shooting. But let's continue. I got one more for Chicago. This one's also incredibly sad. The victim's vehicle left the highway and stopped near the top of 111th Street exit ramp. 2 people were found dead at the scene and 4 were taken to the hospital. 1 of the 4 subsequently died. Robinson said the investigation is still in its infancy. State police did not share whether a suspect had been arrested. And this is a drive-by. This one was quite literally some criminals in another car saw another car, lit up the entire car, and hit innocent children on the inside of the car. This is not a mass shooting as they would normally do, because they are putting all the things into one bucket in order to infringe upon your rights to make it seem worse than it is. Gun Violence Archive is a far left source from Slate magazine, and they are only interested in any time someone gets hit with gunfire. They are not interested in whether it was gang related, whether it was a fight and innocent people were hit separately. None of the details are provided. It's only 82 mass shootings, of which we know is a bunch of crap. Again, I would like to reiterate the fact that all of these things are terrible. All of these things should never happen. I wish they could not. But the fact that we've got people who are fighting in parties and they're inflicting pain upon each other in public settings is a little bit different than a mass shooting of which they are trying to frame 82 so far in 2023. I get a little spicy on this because this is manipulation in order to affect Americans' rights across the board, because if you just lie to them enough, then it seems to be true. And that's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.